Welcome everybody back to Boost in Motion, guys, and today we're going to be installing the eBay style blow valves on my Q50 Q60 VR30 motor. Hit that intro. Welcome everybody back to Boost in Motion, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Thank you. So welcome back everybody. So I did a recent video talking about the quality of the Torque Solutions blow valve kit. It doesn't come with the eBay blow valves, and I must say the quality is super low. At about $130 $140, the only thing really useful in this kit is the silicone T couplings. They do give you the couplings to the throttle body to the intercoolers, water to air intercoolers, but they don't give you this important piece. This T fitting is what's necessarily needed to install any blow valve kit. So check the Concept Z, and I believe the Z1 Motorsports site. They may, I think Concept Z has this, but I don't know if Z1 Motorsports have it too. But you can actually purchase blow valve kits very similar to this with the T fitting for about the same price as the Torque Solutions kit. So I do not recommend the Torque Solutions kit as per this video. Also, what I noticed with the Torque Solutions kit, this nipple is about, I think, about 1.5 inches. But usually most blow valves use about 1 inch inner diameter coupling. That's why this blow valve looks so weird sitting in there, because I just stuffed it in there. But it should be inch, not inch and a half. So I'm still going to do an install video. I'm probably going to end up changing the blow valves down the line to one that's a little bit more wider to fit in here. But I know for a fact this will work because I had these blow valves on my last DIY homemade blow valve kit. Guys, so let's deep dive right into it. So make sure that the engine is cold because we don't want to work on a hot engine. Now, we could start with these couplings and start putting these in first, but I'd rather not. And this is the first time we actually seen this bracket on this. I guess this comes on the 60s because I don't see these on the 50s. But just a brief overlay for the people who want to just jump in as at the start. You're going to have to remove these 2 bolts here. You're also going to have to remove these 2 7 millimeters here. I believe those are 14 millimeter bolt here, 14 millimeter bolt here. And what that's going to allow you to do is push this up. I hate this part because what you're going to have to do is also, if you want to take this completely off, you're going to have to take off this band too to pull this and get more room, and a couple of other clips and harnesses. Nothing too hard. You do the same thing on the other side. The only difference is on this side you have the water to air intercooler T fitting here. That should be a 10 millimeter here to remove that. That allows you to move this up and out the way, and a couple of other clips and bands. Once again, those bolts are over there to pull them out. And then this bolt and that bolt. Alright, so let's move forward to this band. Now this one's going to be a little bit hard because it's not this we want to remove. It's this first silver band here, and then there's one inside of here to the back. This is in the way. I believe coolant is running through this, so you can't just take this off. I don't believe this is a breather hole. I believe it's it's coolant or water running through there. So we can start removing some of these bands to move this out the way and unclip it over here to give us a bit more room. All right, so what I did was I took off this band, this clip, push that back. I can't really get this band off and up. It's in a weird orientation, so I just bent the bracket back so I could get a bit more space. All right, guys, so what I'm doing is using a flathead to get it to rotate. See how I'm doing it? I put it in there and I'm just spinning it around. So that's allowing me to get a little bit more access to the vacuum of it. See, it might bend it up a little bit, but also I have a replaceable V-clamps that I can use there, but I just want to get this out and around. All right, guys, so I use a flathead to push it down. Try not to cut the pipe itself, and try not to cut any harnesses, but you shouldn't. But anyways, I'm gonna grab it, use the gloves because it's a little sharp in here, and I'm just gonna pull off the hose. Literally just pull it off. Hopefully I don't bang up my hand too much. Ah, shit, see? See, my hand did bang right there, end of it, but it's off. See? I've only been at it for about 5 minutes. All right, so I want to show you the orientation. So this is the part that goes up and over like this. It sits like this on a manifold. And this is how it's supposed to look. So this is supposed to go in. This is supposed to come across and go back inside the manifold. And then this is where we tap in to get some boost pressure, right? If you guys work on cars, you gotta understand, you're not gonna be able to work on your car sometime and not bust a knuckle, scratch yourself. This, you gotta be used to this. My hands are man hands here, man. Not the hugest hands, but yo, you're gonna cut yourself up. You're gonna run into issues. So don't be afraid. Just use the proper protection. Put gloves that can actually protect yourself a lot better. And then we're gonna move on. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna find the clamps. I believe I have some clamp styles here. To be honest, it actually fits on there super tight. So, but you still want to be able to clamp it a bit. It's gonna be kind of hard. Let me double check. What I'm gonna do right now is double check. I'm gonna see how it connects and if it connects on it nice and tight. If it connects on nice and tight, really tight, you can use some motor oil and put it on both nipples. So take some motor oil and like put it on both nipples with your finger, or just pull up the dipstick, and then that's gonna allow you to slide this on a lot better. But to be quite honest, these things are so tight you don't really need a clamp. You shouldn't run into any boost pressure, but I know some people are gonna sit there and say, but you should at least use zip ties, or you can take these clamps off and try to reuse them. I don't think they're reusable. It looks like they're a lot smaller, but I'll give it a shot and see. All right, so these are the kind of clamps you're gonna put on, and I start to tighten the clamp a little bit, but not just enough that I can't really push it off with my finger too easy. What's gonna happen is once you put it on, it's still gonna start to widen open and open up a little bit, and then from there, you can be able to gauge it properly. But you want to put on a little tight, so when you push it on, you push it on. Same thing for here. I have another clamp that I have over here and here. I'm gonna put it on there. I'm gonna show you guys how it look, but I'm gonna start pushing it on now. All right, guys, so I fought with this for a little bit, but pretty much what I did was put small, like, let me use an example. This is the part that slides in right first. You slide in the part that goes in first, not this one, not this side, and then you don't put it all the way in. You're gonna have to bend down the coupling like this to get it to catch onto this, to catch on this nipple. Once you bend this down and you get it catched in, just wiggle it on there, and then I'm gonna just tighten this V-band, this band myself. But pretty much we are already set. We're almost pretty much finished here. All right. Now, so I'm just gonna move this up, tighten this. I already have this line going across, and then now we're gonna move on to the couplings for both sides. I've only been in this stall for probably, let me check the time now. I started about 20 minutes ago. So this is not too bad. It just took me a little long to deal with this. It was like 10 minutes for this one. All right, anyways, let's continue. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is remove these 12mm bolts, 1, 2, and 3 and 4. That's gonna allow me to shift this up and down. This bracket's in the way, so I'm gonna take off this 10mm bolt here, and then we're gonna work on these 7mm straps right here to get this out. All right, I'm gonna start from this side, and then we're gonna work our way. This is the clamps. This is the T couplings with the blow valves. Shouldn't be too hard to get these installed. Man, I love using electric guns. Shouldn't use this one, it's too powerful. I don't have a smaller one, but I just took off all of these super easy. That would have took me at least 10 minutes with some elbow grease. Thank you, electric guns. I gotta get a small ratchet one or 3H drive at some point. Probably gonna get a Romby because everything I got is Romby, so it is what it is. But anyways, we're gonna move on to this, and to take off these straps, let me just double check to make sure it is a 7. No, this is a 9 I'm grabbed. It should be a 7mm here. I'm gonna do it on video, make sure it's the right size. 7mm. Yep, it's a 7mm to take off these straps. It's gonna be a little hard to take these off because of their orientation, but it is what it is. I do got a small ratchet, but whatever. But anyway, let's start taking this off. All right, guys, so took off all the bolts. All these are unclipped, and I couldn't get it out because I kept on pushing. So I had to take off the oil cap so I can be able to push it this way to pull this up, and now I can be able to lift this up in this direction in a vertical motion, and then I should be able to have better access. Unclip any of these if you need to get a bit more length. All right, guys, so I got the coupling out. See what I did? You just have to take off the harness. I can actually crack that off, but it allows you to pull it out off the throttle body and push it up, and then you could be able to access the throttle body. So now I'm gonna put the bands. I have a couple of bands on. Matter of fact, you're actually supposed to reuse the same bands. I'm gonna put them in a different orientation, and I'm gonna show you guys how it look. All right, guys, so I got it back in. Put this part in first, and then push this down and forward. That's going to allow you to put this coupling in and slide it back onto the throttle body and then line it up. Be careful with this metal bracket right here. It may rub against this firewall right here and this harness, so you'll know what I'm talking about. Just pay attention, be very patient. And now we're gonna, well, remember, but also you're also supposed to put some paper in here to make sure nothing falls in here. I forgot to do that, but nothing fell. I kept anything that was loose from being around. Anyways, I'm not gonna tighten up everything here on this side yet, but just make sure you start clipping back in a lot of these harnesses. I only unclip this, I think this is the oxygen sensor or the EGT sensor, all right? But stuff down here is still loose. The brackets of the vans, and they don't got the nuts back into it. But I want to get this side on now, and then we can move on to the next. All right, guys, so got this one out. Once again, you have to finagle it. Try to pick up this part first at the front of the end, front of the coupling. Try to get that up first, and then once that is up and out, then pull across. There's no real harnesses or anything to cover. Be careful with this. I don't want you guys to try to bend your hoses and it pops and it starts leaking. And be careful of this fuel line right here. There's a fuel line here, so just be very careful about that. But stick some tissue down there for right now. Well, right now you really don't have to. You may see a little bit of oil in there. That's just oil blow by from the PCV valve. See right here, that's some of the oil blow by that will go into the silicone coupling. So don't worry about that too much. It's pretty common, all right? Anyways, so this gives you also better access to this 7mm, because I couldn't even get to it before. You would have to either use an open-ended or closed-ended wrench rather than a ratchet with a socket set, okay? But let me take this off, put on a new one, and start buttoning this one up. To be honest, do everything in reverse order, because it's not too hard once you got the new couplings in. And then I'm gonna show you where to connect the lines, and that's gonna be it. We're gonna start it up and make sure there's no leaks or anything like that. Also, I want you guys to know that I've been doing this for about an hour. So, yeah. All right, so it's about an hour and a half into the install. My back hurts a little bit. All right, I'm going to clean up these hoses later. Just double check, make sure all the connections are tight. Make sure that you put everything back in there tight. The only thing I don't really like is how this fuel line is moved up a little bit. I believe I can move the fuel line below the blow valve. I'll probably just unscrew this quickly, pop it off or whatever, and put the fuel line below it. This end too, just make sure everything's tight. And then make sure that you put these back on tight too. And all the clips are back in, and we should be ready to go for start. Alright, so that brings the blow valve install to a close. Now, these are some eBay blow valves. They're super small. They're like $15–20 a piece, and they work, but they're not super loud. They're not going to hear so much of a blow valve sound from them. I'm probably going to change to a different set because I did use different couplings before. This is why I had those one size, but knowing that I can go with I think it's an 1.25 inch, 1.5 blow valve. I know there are some out there who give more of a whoosh sounds, kind of like my C63. I really like how my C63 blow valves are super loud. So I'm gonna see if I can find something similar to that. But yeah, guys, this install took me about 2 hours. It's not my first time installing. I already know what to do, so it took me some time. I was very patient. For you guys, it'll probably take 3–4 hours each. About up to 3 hours, because you guys are gonna cut yourself. You might not have all the proper tools, but all in all, this was a fun install. The blow valves work perfectly. Just double check to make sure there's no boost leaks. If you are tuned or on JB4, just double check data log to make sure you don't have no boost leaks. Outside that, guys, you guys have a good morning, good afternoon, good night. Stay away from Torque Solutions blow valve kit. I'll put the links below to the CZP blow valve kit with that specific T coupling that's supposed to go to the back of the manifold. But outside that, guys, appreciate it. You guys know where to contact me. BoostinMotion on IG, Facebook, and boostinmotion@gmail.com. Otherwise than that, guys, have a good day. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Do appreciate you guys. Love you guys very much. You can also check out the 2 links I posted for some of my other videos. Also, on top of that, if you want to purchase some BoostinMotion merch, definitely check the link that I posted also. And finally, if you've been watching all my videos and you enjoy them, please hit the link to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you. Thank you.